7.4 and 7.5. Okay, so this is another chapter. Okay, so chapter 7.4 is related to the development of the AP. So, like in the first phase, we start from define the industrial priorities and needs for the information exchange. So then we established international meeting to satisfy this need, and especially for in this process, the SC4 is responsible for managing the participation, and then we define the scope and the information requirements. During this process, and the statements that are relevant to the application context, and even the functional requirements will be given. And then we define the product data applications and the intended use. So, and also the detailed scope and information applications from this process will be given. And for the scope definition, so last time, Mohamed and he talked about the AAM and ARM and even AIM. So, like for AAM, it describes the use of data within the application domain with modeling technique such as the IDF0, and then the product and the data use information will be documented. And finally, the usage is quite valuable in the defining information, because in this process, the exchange requirement and also it is tested in the validation. And also this is the ARM. So ARM refers to the application reference models. So in this process, for the detailed scope information, in this process we have to define the information domain of those APs, which are described by the use of ARM. And we also use a standard information modeling technique, like for the IDF1X and also express language. And also the information requirements of this application with scope must be expressed in ARM. And I will also need to fully describe the detailed information requirement. And there is a basic mechanism to modularize the scope of AP. It's just to define the UOF, which is called the unites of functionality within the ARM. So for UOF, so it is kind of collection of entities, attributes, and also relationships. So it also organizes the ARM into logic groups and provides thesis for APs. And in this process, the NIST browsers are used for existing UFs. Okay. Okay. Okay, like for the AP developers. Okay, the AP developers must reuse the UFS in the existing APs. And so this is a basic information about ARMs. And okay, I will continue. So if I summarize the development process, so like AEM is kind of basis which provides a process for the users to develop like design and even for the production. So it can be the basic process for the ARM and AEM. So like for ARM, it's kind of reference, and AEM is kind of interpreted model. So there must be some mapping table between this process. Like okay, this kind of like for example, here like we have kind of mapping table like for the first row, like here, like struct enclosure element, and it can be interpreted in ARM with a different phrase. Like here, like it's called structure enclosure element and product definition. And for others, like here, we just need to give it a different name and to define its attribute and also its the name. Okay, so just I have mentioned in this process, the information flows in ARM. So it's kind of a basis for ARM and ARM. So the interpretation process defines the IR objects that correspond to ARM requirements, and also like the correlation between the ARM and ARM can be documented in a mapping table. So like I mentioned before here, we have the same attribute, but it can be called different names and different tabs. And also like for this mapping table, the guidance on the use of ARM constructs within this application. So we will go to 7.5. So this is about planning and managing of AP projects. So first we will start from talking about some histories. Like the first is about the development history. So during 1990 and 1998, IC4 authorized like 32 AP projects. At that time, like IC4 established the procedures for assessing industry requirements and to promote the timely completion of APs as an international standard. And industry also was encouraged to define the industry-wide AMs, and also like the industry also was encouraged to define another type like called information technology roadmaps. During this process, like the aerospace industry has taken a general approach to such to use STEP. Like for example, we have they used management like AP 203, and also automobiles and shipbuilding process also use fake APs for their needs. And like the scope of ISO 10303 and 214 is kind of for data for automobiles. Automotives, the design process is kind of another standard. And this is relevant protocol numbers and titles for different process. And here, the first one can be called explicit joining, yes, and also, yeah, in different process with different numbers and titles. So, but however, there are a lot of debates on this, like application protocol, the number and titles. First, some people think that this kind of attempts to reduce the requirement and alter methods and or build the tools for automate AP development have some like different some dense, some shortage in those intensive undertakings. So this kind of like things, like just kind of shortages and even those shortcomings can be very crucial in this requirements. And also like they said that we should standardize this kind of AP, or we should like standardize these infrastructure parts of ISO and 10303. And also, some people also questioned a lot about that should we use these APs to be harmonized only within the industrial sectors, or continue to be integrated across industrial sectors. And this like kind of debate focused on this the implementable ARM. So like for especially in like here, like here for the aerospace and even the automotives, yeah, they adopted the ISO 10303 in the very first beginning, and they also participated in the development process of STEP apps. So this is about 7.5.
What is the number of 201, 202?
Like here, 10303 is just kind of ISO like here for this one, like 103. It's the beginning of the ISO standard. So like for in the like here, the different numbers represents for different AP. Like for like it's probably here like the 227 represents for the planned spatial configurations, and so 222 represents for ship mechanical systems.
ISO 10303 is a step.
Yeah, it's a step. Yeah, it's a step, and then within this step we have a lot of different items.
The number means the order of the time?
Yes, the historical numbers.
And what is the star like?
Star?
Next to the number?
Star, like asterisk here.
Yeah.
Like here for
201.
Mm-hmm.
The next to the star.
Maybe I think it indicates I'm not sure. I'll check it. Check the PDF. Just like in the PDF. So, it's international standard. Yes, yeah, it's international standard. Yes.
So others are progress.
On the progress. Okay. Okay. Are there any questions?
So I'm trying to finish up the final section of AP, Chapter 7. This is only for conclusion, but I expanded into to show the modular architecture. So this AP pioneered the combined use of process modeling, information modeling, and mapping between data models and conformance testing is all together to develop AP. Process modeling means activity model, process of that industry, And information modeling is for requirement ARM, requirement modeling, object modeling, or class modeling. And mapping table is mapping between ARM and AIM. Right? ARM is for industry-specific modeling, domain-specific. Right? AIM is domain-independent models, common resources. So there should be a mapping between them. And then also include conformance testing is to be. And mapping table is the most complex component in developing AP. And that was the major barrier, obstacle to the understanding and use of AP. Because you should know both areas. The domain-specific terminology concept and also domain-independent concept and knowledge. Right. Both, say, shipbuilding and also mathematics and physics and chemistry and other things, electronics and others. Right. Because shipbuilding has all kinds of elementary knowledge combined together, but specialized for ocean. So in practice, it takes a long time to have a mapping table and interpretation process, making AIM from ARM. That's why there is a debate. Wang explained about debate inside the community that implementable ARM. So domain experts want to implement. Implement means develop software based on ARM rather than AIM. There was a big fight inside the community, but finally the community decided to develop AIM. So domain independent model is now is requirement. But still, because of that decision, still AP development is not easy. That's why they are trying to make another way to develop more faster, more efficient way to develop AP. One answer was a modular AP. Right. In say around 2000, they disbanded working group 4. So now there is no working group 4. We have a working group 2, and also working group 2 is not active anymore. So working group 3 is also changed their role from previous role. So they only focus on oil and gas industry now. There's no working group 4, no working group 5, no working group 6, 7, 8. No, 8 is there is a 8. So we have 2, but that is idling. 3 is active, and working group 8 is active. That kind of thing is happening as time history is changing. Due to Bartlett promotes fragmented solutions. We'll see in chapter 9. And this is another standard, not 10303. It's 15926. It is for oil and gas industry. And they develop their own part inside 15926. So that this is an overview of part and modeling entity, reference shape, and terms and definition, taxonomy, rule. This is a reference data and templates for product models, ontology, web ontology language, representation of product model. Product model means this taxonomy, and facade, interface and security, and conformance testing too, and simplify the industrial usage of this methodology. Once again, our representation of part 2 is here, and reference data for planning. So these 4 are under development now at the time of current situation. I should write down here. So this is another set of standard. So offspring of SH4. That's why we now call SH4 standard rather than step standard. In old days, say 10 years ago, there was only one standard inside the SH4 community. step. And then under the step there are so many parts, 600 parts. Now people are taking more new parts, new numbers rather than step. So we call it altogether as is Boston. So weak aspect of the existing process of developing AP, information model, mapping table, notations and tools is not easy. Efficiency and speed of standard development, especially the interpretation process. Mapping tables takes time, and adequate and inconsistent means to scope an individual AP. So each AP is very domain specific, so that there is a variation between APs in terms of adequacy and consistency. And so also we need to have a smart industrial testing. Testing of AP is required, but testing also has a problem. So tools to facilitate implementation of the APs. Softwares, because there is confliction between commercial software companies. They want to have their software to be the world standard. That is the wish of the company. The standard community want to make AP should be the world standard. Companies, they have their own standard, right? So say in 1970s, most of the big shipbuilding companies has their own CAD system, their own developing CAD system, shipbuilding CAD system. Companies, CAD system. Because shipbuilding companies is big, so that they have enough resource, manpower, to develop money and manpower to develop their own CAD system in 1970s. So Hitachi has their own, Mitsubishi has their own, Mitsui has their own, something like that. And European companies develop their own, and American companies. Not at that time. In 70s, Korean shipbuilding companies very young, just started, so they could not develop their own CAD system. They imported the CAD system coming from Norway at the time. And then we can say this is a Hitachi, and this is say Swedish. Maybe the common is. And this is from US, say, shipbuilding company. What is the name of the shipbuilding company? I can't remember this. So that CAD system has differences, right? And then AP for shipbuilding, they want to make a common CAD system out of this company-specific CAD system, right? That core can be an AP for shipbuilding. That is the idea behind this. But also, as I said before, there is a conflict between business cases, because Hitachi wants their software to be world standard, and everybody use their CAD system instead of international standard. So there is conflict. That is not easy, because who has the power and manpower and money, they develop their own system. And changing or enhancing a published standard. So there's upgrading of standard is also a problem, because we need a big money to upgrade standard. But but few people support that kind of activity, including government. Anyway, so that they have a difficulty, so that they want to make a more efficient way. So in 1980 and 90s, they have APs based on common resources and AIC. AIC should be here. AIC is here, right? AIC. So and common resources, AIR or CIR, something like that. And then afterwards, they have an interoperability problem, so that between AP, interoperability important so that they develop AIC concept. They are all going on to 500 series numbers of part of step 10303 part 500 series, so that they can be shared. This is domain independent models construct. So that interpreted model, right? Application interpreted construct. So already interpreted one. The common resources are located here. And this portion of can be used or shared by other APs. There is an idea behind this. Right? So this new AP is just borrow AIC from this AP, and one from this AP, and one from this AP, and then develop their own, then easily develop their new AP. That is the idea. And then this one is further developed to be a modular architecture here. So each one is AP modules, components-based architecture. So currently we are, the community is working on AP modular architecture. And this is already shown to you. Right? This is a traditional way, the old way. The book is showing this way. It is 5 components of activity model, reference model, interpreted model, between them mapping table, and conformance class can be anywhere. But usually together with activity model, because activity model is user scenario, right? And process model for company and industry. Right? So user scenario is together with conformance classes. You should testing based on user scenario or usage scenario, use cases. Right? But now it changed into modules. Each module has it's very similar to AIC, but has ARM and mapping table and AIM. So interpreted model is together. So we call this application modules. And smaller application modules can be shared by different APs. So new AP has only conformance classes and activity model. Right? Top model here. Right? This is main topic. And then collect many application modules from the library of step module resource library. I mentioned resource library contains small common resources, also the application modules. Right? These are also converted into modules. These common resources, application interpreted, integrated. Right? What is it? What is it? Resource? R is meaning?
Application integrated
resources. Right? Resources. And generic integrated resources. They are all converted into modules and managed by this library. And together with modules, this is application modules. It's a common resource module. And then the coverage or umbrella AP, just collecting modules and then easily create a new AP. That is the idea behind this. Now, in May 2016, this year, we have a SH4 meeting similar to one we have been to Seattle several weeks ago. But in May, there is another meeting in Sapporo in Japan. In that meeting, has been one tutorial workshop of AP242. There is a new AP that is under development now, and that is based on modular architecture. That's why we can learn from their development story. So this is a program of the workshop. So that Step AP242 edition 1, first edition, and there is an overview and status by Max Ungler, is a person coming from ProStep. ProStep is from Germany. And then he also has another presentation of implementation, overview, status, and implementation. And then industry expectation of edition 2. We are developing edition 2 of AP242. So edition 1 is already IF, international standard. He's from Airbus, France. And then overview edition 2 and focusing on industry requirement. Industry requirement is ARM, right, or activity model, and provided functions from Jan Branche. Jan Branche is from a small company, specialized step activity business, similar to ProStep in France, and the company name is Boost Concept. Right? He is doing cabin, Jan Branche, and also again Jan Branche, same company. Right? And they are working on presentation of geometry enhancement and then future architecture. So I brought this slide for further explanation. Question?
Is there any documentation for the new step architecture, like the book that are using?
New architecture. There is no book. There is no book. There is several slides you can find from Google or website. And one of them is this one, right? Presentation slide. Or maybe the standard of step 10313, new edition 2 of part 1. Part 1 is an overview of step standard. Edition 2 is under balloting, voting period. So it's under development. So this new document includes some idea of future architecture because it is overview standard part. But it is very thin, not many pages. It's just summary of idea. Okay. Any other questions? And then I can show you some of this future architecture. But still, I maybe not explain all of them idea because I also not familiar with this topic yet. But anyway, this one is final presentation of that tutorial in May. And title was Step Future Architecture in Sapporo, Japan, and the presentation is done by Jan Branche of France. So model-based development is another new topic. Model-based development. Model-based development or model-based architecture. Model-based architecture. New development or architecture. You can find this explanation on this from OMG consortium, but they are adapting this development. Model-based something, right? Multi-implementation forms. And then you can see that application activity model, AAM, right? And domain model should be ARM something. Right? Conceptual model. But in all written using the SysML. SysML is a system engineering mockup language. SysML is also another. And model-based mapping. You are saying this is concept. Maybe ARM and AIM probably is mapping is saying. And core model means the common resources. CTC is core technology capabilities, common resources. All in module resource library. Yeah. And then implementation should use, say, Express language or XML or web morphology language or JSON. JSON is another language for ontology, I guess. And this is old ideas. ARM, AIM. Step mode is also previous version of SNR. And then Express language and physical file. So life cycle high level. Okay. So this shows many groupings of you want to see this kind of things, right? So analysis product is AP210 for electronics, AP209 is for finite element meshes. And design of product is 210 again, 219 also again, 242 is new part. And manufacturing also, with designing and manufacturing, 242 is also concerning to design also manufacturing, but 238 is step NC, so numerical control things. You can list one. Material things, 239, and 242 also again, design of the redesign or design changes can be covered by. So this is limited. And system engineering comes from two systems. So that shows partly a grouping of product development and life cycle, and also AP development. But not all of them, some of them. Right? So step new architecture is coming from different ideas. Broader community using step knowledge is a wider usage of them, and also step developers, standard developers, and implementers, software vendors, and model-based architecture, and express the languages. So these new ideas is coming together. And new step architecture also has information and implementation is important. Integration and multi-layers, model-based framework, and conformance classes, and previous old step architecture should be consistent also together, because it's a new one. So that the same picture is once again coming. So new architecture shows these diagrams coming here. And AP conceptual model, and domain model, and core model. Core model is resource, common resources, and then we develop AP modules. So CSML, SDR, XSD, and physical file in the old ways. Finally arrive at XML files. This is traditional way of implementing physical file, not 103 or so. This is documentation for publishing AP242. This is for developing software, developing standard rather than ideas. So if you once you all things are ready, and then you make the HTML file so for the publication of standard. This is how the standard is made. So project and related project. So architectural framework and addition to harmonization. These things should be collaborated with each other to harmonize to arrive at the other standard and series of things. So the other standard is coming together. Not only 242, new resources, small modules, and 239 is for the product life cycle support. Here, new edition, so that they and modular and new step architecture. This is probably the traditional existing standard structure, so that activity model and modules, application modules, common resources, IR or GIR, and then implemented method and description method and confirmation method. Traditional structure, but they want to change into CSML is coming. The blue portions, activity model and conceptual model, and domain LDL and core model of this part. New bindings, XML is used, RDL also used, and validation and mapping will change. Each part can be structured. So why I simplified mapping of it to this problem?
but anyway, the ARM, the core is a common resources, the bottom part. ARM expresses the old way, traditional way, mapping to the system and the new concept there. And this is scheduled for development. So they are starting from standing documents direct, and then CD handling, CD document, CD balloting is here, and then update part, and then DIS is development. SML, you see that also SML version is developing together with AP development. What is this? This is status of description, deliverables, achievement, and dependencies, and state. Right? That's it. And you see that they are working together with these organizations. NIST is here, PDS is the step center of the United States, first step of Germany. So these two are most dominant organization of this development. Galileo is no plus, the aerospace also working. Right? That's it. We don't have time for discussion. I have too much. So we sit next time.
Today's topic is about wireless application protocol, WAP. It is the technical standard for accessing information over a mobile wireless network. You can see this picture. The data is transferred to the WAP gateway using HTTP like that, and then we can transfer the data using WAP in wireless environment to the mobile device. And the question is WAP needed? The WAP has the advantage and disadvantage. So you can see this in this presentation and talk about your opinion.
Can you more explain about WAP itself?
WAP
Command set, command list.
command list. What is command list? As I know about that, the WAP is in using wireless environment, and it is replace the HTLM. So it is more faster than HTLM in the wireless environment, as I know. And
So is it a language? You mean HTTP or HTML?
yeah,
HTML?
yeah, HTML.
So why would anyone use WAP again?
Say again.
You give an example of using WAP. How can I use WAP?
Maybe we are using WAP.
Now, we are using now.
Yeah.
Why secure to programmable code?
Because the explained in the Wikipedia, I saw some problems, several problems in there. The process in the transferring data, some people can access to the procedure in the WAP, so it is very weak from the hacking like that. So who want to agree? Can you do agree?
I agree. 1 versus 2. I agree.
I agree too.
Yeah. Maybe Sunja will help you.
Can you go back to the previous slide? I think it's not about the language, it's about the technology that connects mobile device and web.
But I saw some problem. The WAP code users from the conventional HTML and web. So it may be.
Competing is between HTTP, not HTML. WP is competing with HTTP. So you are saying this dimension is different. HTML. In the previous slide says the competition between WP and HTTP. This is communication protocol rather than contents. The pipeline, how do you send the contents through pipeline? What kind of pipeline? The pipeline or the wireless pipeline?
Did you know about the WAP?
No, but I guess what it means.
Wanting to have an opinion?
I have no idea what that is.
So as far as I read on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
it says there's 2 ways for a mobile phone to access the internet, either by directly like reading the HTML website, like the browser can read the HTML, or by using wireless communication with another device that can access the internet. So like a computer can access the internet and then send the information to the mobile, something like that.
Yeah.
But it says most mobile phones now
don't have that kind of standard, then every mobile device manufacturer should develop their own method to connect their device to the website. And there will be many variations. And if you want to get into that manufacturing area, then you need to see the standard. But if there is no standard for the connecting device and web, then maybe it can be a problem to new startup. And also, as it says here, it is based on XML language. So it can be widely used in terms of language.
As I have searched through the internet, it is said that W80 browser is a web browser for mobile. So, like by now, like even in Europe and United States, W80 use like it has largely disappeared because of its like here the web page incompatibility, and sometimes because of most of them are no longer able to render even disappearing pages. So most of the modern users, and they always use
Are you looking at the
HTML.
problem side?
Problem side?
I'm just curious, how exactly is this relevant to STEM?
It is the communication step to the web, the server, and the smart device.
So this is part of STEM.
Yeah.
Which one is part of
I don't know, but there is some word standard in the specification.
It's an application protocol, but it does not have anything to do with product specification. So probably it's not
Product,
part of STEM.
yeah, not product.
Right, so probably it's
So
not part
standard
of STEM.
just.
Another
not a part of STEM?
There's another AP.
This is for communication, wireless communication protocol.
I read also that criticism from the Wikipedia, and it says it doesn't support or enoughly support conventional HTML web browser. So and it is costly because it is something new. So if you have to build this environment, it should be costly from the first place. But you can think of the situation before step and after step. And then if companies, there's a time that no company uses step as a standard, and now it is widely used, and we have many advantages from using that step. So WP is, I think, similar situation right now, maybe back in the mid-90s. So maybe we can evolve this standard in a good way.
Is it really new standard? Seems a little old. Because in communication technology, 15 years is old.
15 years already?
It's like in early 2000-ish, 2000.
Yeah, it's not something new. standard point of view, I think it's worth it. I think.
Did you heard about the constraint application protocol?
Can you say again?
Constraint AP.
Constraint AP?
Yeah.
No.
When I'm searching the WAP, I also found the constraint application protocol,
So there are
and it is
many protocol.
it is for IoT.
Mm-hmm.
Because the IoT needs big data capability,
Mm-hmm.
so the constraint application protocol can make the smart device accessing to the IoT big data more efficiently. And I can't distinguish between the WAP and constraint AP. Constraint AP also make the communication wireless, and the WAP also do that.
I cannot distinguish it too because I don't know this
None of
technology.
us here is a networking expert, so it's hard to debate these details.
Yeah, okay, I go next question. What will be important issue in application protocol? As I mentioned before, the security, the problems also in the AP, and the originality of character in step. The generality is also important. So what do you think about security and generality?
What do you mean by generality in this context?
범용성. Generality.
Generally used.
Yeah. You are.
Should I choose only one thing
Yeah.
from
only
one of
thing.
these two?
More important thing in the future.
I say security.
Security. Why?
Because it's not secure, no one's gonna use it. But generality, that depends on maybe it can be influenced by security problem. If it's secure and it is good, then everyone will use it and it will have generality.
But the security level goes up. Maybe the generality can be reduced.
Maybe the domain that can use this technology can be reduced because of the security level. But I think the more secure, the more better in terms of the mobile and web. That's my opinion.
Security is for personal information.
Personal information. It depends on what AP. It is not specific. But you can tell me your opinion about the personal information, please.
Can I choose something else instead of these two? Like I have
Yeah.
So I think one of the main difficulties in APs is that there are too many APs, and I try to find any kind of electronic documentation to be able to search through the APs. But like let's say I'm making a certain product, how can I know which AP is relevant to this product?
This relevant to
To the product, like any specific product or any specific field.
AP and their related product.
Right. So how to be able to electronically search through the APIs to find all the relevant ones I need to be consistent to. So
There's no such a guidance.
right. So you just have to kind of go to a library and suit yourself, but like unless you have an expertise in the field, newcomers may find it hard. So unless you have the expertise, it's hard to figure out which AP corresponds to which product. It's like the standard or the commonly used AP in the industry.
So you mean maybe the new product come out, we can choose the AP.
Right. I mean, a new product developer, if you're developing a new product, you might want to know which APIs are relevant to your product. So there is no search mechanism to allow you to know which APIs are related. I think mainly because the APIs are protected and they are being sold for money, so they are not openly available for search.
You should consult me. It's similar to, say, medical doctor or
Right.
similar to lawyers.
Right.
Which law component should I apply to this case?
But it kind of limits the innovation potential.
If there is
You always have to go through a bottleneck.
I agree,
One person to tell you do this and do that and do that.
but yeah, I agree, but it's not easy to provide such a capability.
Right.
I'll provoke him in the future.
But there may be some experts that can provide you the kind of expertise.
Right, but they cost money and they have like they're limited. There's always a limited number of experts. So
That's why we are developing expert system.
right. Yeah, something like expert system, search engine, or anything that can tell me which APIs are relevant.
Today Wangin is so silent.
Okay, I think
He's confused because of the question. It's too
I'm so
complicated.
confused. And maybe I'll choose general use because as for the scope of AP, it is defined that first the AP defines the types of product. So as for like just mentioned, so if we can't find the relevant APs, how can we like develop our product? So now for the and also for the spotted stages for in the life cycle of product, and also like required types of product data and spotted uses of those data and your disciplines. So like all of those five like principles about AP are relevant to like what you have mentioned, general use. So I think this is a basic requirement for developing AP. So although there are so many problems like the security, I really think that the basic general use is much more important compared with security, because up to now, like this kind of AP development is still not enough, and sometimes we have to make more efforts to create new like principles and new processes.
So do you have an idea about the security problem caused by the general AP?
Yeah, actually, there might be, because like for here like for spotted uses of product data. So like for the during the process of use, so there might be some like security problems, because we cannot make sure that
for my lack of background, so I can't choose who is right, who is not.
There are some suggestions about this question. Once I announced that debating is very interesting, but every time you cannot do it debating. So my suggestion is you rather focus on class material.
Yeah.
And then also you can raise question to student, so the student can answer to your question. There is another way to can. Otherwise, it's not easy to make every time to make a debating discussion. So focus on class material and find out some question, probably your questions. Then ask to students that so that they can answer to you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.